What's going on, everybody? My name is Jake. Welcome to the Haunted Beard. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, with Alien Romulus coming out in about a month, I thought what better than to do my next franchise series of reviews on, of course, the Alien franchise. So, that is what I'm going to do, and today I'm going to give you some thoughts in my review for the original from 1979, directed by Ridley Scott, Alien. And I'm going to just come right out and say it, this is one of my all-time favorite horror films, and sci-fi films for that matter, as this is one of those films that is so much fun to watch. It's so entertaining. It is aged like a fine wine. It's kind of just one of those endlessly rewatchable films that it never gets old, and I thoroughly enjoy it every single time I watch it. Not only does it have a great atmospheric score, the production design and the visuals are phenomenal. And of course, it has one of the greatest, I always put this as 1 and 2 with Predator, of having the greatest horror creature design ever. So the film opens up and we are aboard the Nostromo. And what I really like about Ridley Scott's approach to this film is how quiet a lot of it is and how patient he is in telling the story. As the opening 6 or 7 minutes are very silent. We don't see any people or hear any voices. There's no talking until 7 minutes into the film. And so for those opening few minutes, the camera just kind of tracks through the hallways and throughout the ship, while this, again, kind of atmospheric, a little bit creepy, a little bit unsettling score is playing kind of subtly underneath. And it's just kind of this nice sort of easy introduction into the movie, as it kind of sets up a nice little bit of a tone, familiarizing yourself with the setting, and it's kind of giving you a chance to get ready and prepare yourself for what's about to happen. Then the crew is woken up out of their hibernation, and they expect to be back home at planet Earth, only they find out that they are still quite a ways away and only halfway there to their destination, because the ship has picked up some mysterious beacon signal from this nearby planet, and they are obligated to go investigate and check out what it is. So of course, they land on the planet, the ship gets damaged upon their arrival, and then 3 of them get out to go investigate this mysterious signal. And this is where we really get some great out-of-this-world visuals. That it's so amazing how, with this movie being, I think 45 years old now, how well it is held up in terms of the visuals. They're phenomenal. So much creativity, so much imagination, all the miniatures and stuff like that, the shots from outer space with the ship and everything look so fantastic, and the imagery is still stunning. And it's so creepy and mysterious and very unsettling, and you really get an impact of they're really on some sort of alien planet discovering this, alien spaceship. And man, it kind of just puts a smile on my face. I just love the sci-fi vibes here. I love particularly the one shot where they go down into the spaceship and the camera cuts out to this really wide shot and you realize how big this thing is. And it's just kind of one of those, awe-inducing, amazing shots that really immerses you into the world of the movie. It's a great shot. Of course, the deceased alien that they find on the big, I think it's like a cannon gun or something like that. Just really cool design and everything. And then even just the look with the blue lasers where Dallas goes down and is looking, and of course he finds the eggs. Just everything about the visual presentation in this movie is terrific. Now, having just watched this film again last night, this was the first time I've watched it in probably at least a few years, and so there's some little details that I kind of picked up on that I didn't really remember from my previous viewing. But one of the things that I like, just kind of a little detail that I enjoy, is sort of the camaraderie, friendship between Yaphet Kotto and Harry Dean Stanton's characters. Just kind of their personalities. They're a little bit of the rebels and stuff like that. They're kind of cracking jokes and stuff. I kind of just dislike their sort of buddy-buddy friendship a little bit. And then one of the other things too is that I think the film does pretty good in giving a couple little subtle clues to who Ash really is before, of course, you get the big reveal later on in the film. Now, obviously, the main alien xenomorph creature, the design of it is fantastic, but the facehugger is also really great. And I love the way that this whole sequence plays out, where, you know, you've got John Hurt there, basically unconscious, but still breathing, with the facehugger on his face. They have no idea what to do. They cut it open. You know, of course, it bleeds acid. And it's just this crazy situation. The look of this thing is so phenomenal. It's an alien spider. That's what I consider it, which is absolutely terrifying. And then it also has a tail that can strangle you. And I love how that whole sequence with John Hurt's character plays out, to where you think he's totally screwed. You're just like, what in the world's going to happen? And then everything seems to be great. And he's back up, back to normal. The facehugger's gone. You breathe this sigh of relief. And that's one of the things this film does really well. It does it a couple times where you kind of have this false sense of security, where you finally feel like you can let out your breath and like everything's okay. But then, of course, as soon as you think everything's fine, it's obviously not. It's really, really bad. And then, of course, we get the now famous and iconic chest buster scene, which is one of the greatest horror kill scenes ever. I did a top 10 kills video not too long ago, and this one I think was in the top 3. I love it. It's fantastic. There's not really anything I can say about it that hasn't been said before. I love the look on Veronica Cartwright's face when she gets splattered with blood, because it's a genuine look of shock. She didn't expect it to be that much blood, and she didn't really know what was coming. Neither did any of the rest of the cast. So, you know, just a great little shot there. And then one of the other little details that I love about this scene is once the alien busts through John Hurt's chest and it cuts to that close-up of the alien, and you can see just John Hurt's hands twitching in the background. Just one little detail of this scene that I find always extremely unsettling, but man, really elevates this kill even to the next level. That little touch, that little detail, I think is awesome.
Oh, God!
One of the scenes in this film that I really like, that I feel never really gets talked about, is when the crew is first coming back to the Nostromo after John Hurt has his incident with the facehugger, and Ripley won't let him back into the ship because of the quarantine protocol, but then Ash overrides it and he lets him back in the ship. And then there's this little scene between Ash and Ripley where they're just having a conversation. Man, I really like that scene. I feel like that's one of the key scenes in the movie to where you really get some insight into who her character is, as she's someone that is by the book. She wants to follow the standard operating procedures and protocol and stuff like that. But in addition to that, it also shows that she knows how to keep her emotions in check and keep herself level-headed, because in my opinion, she has every right to kind of chew Ash out for what he did, but she doesn't. She just confronts him very directly and has a rational conversation with him. And I don't know, I really like that scene. I like the dialogue. I like the performances between both of them, as it just gives some good insight into their characters. And I don't know, it's just an interesting scene that I think is really memorable, that never really gets talked about. So after the incident with John Hurt, of course, now they know they have to go about searching the ship to find the alien. And what I like about the next couple sequences is this is where Ridley Scott really gets a chance to show off how good he is at building suspense, because the suspense building over these next couple major scenes is phenomenal. And I feel like that is one of the major highlights of this film. And I think of other films that were made during this era, and really the suspense is one of the main elements that stands out. You know, I'm thinking of movies like Halloween and Jaws, and then of course this film, where there are sequences where the suspense is just handled and built so well. It's a very kind of slow burn, gradual, very patient, step-by-step suspense building that is fantastic. And in both of those films, Halloween and Jaws, you get that to a high level, and Alien is no exception. I love the scene where Ripley and Harry Dean Stanton and Kodo are going out looking for the creature. They get the fake out with the cat, and then Harry Dean Stanton has to go and find the cat. And then there's the scene where he goes into the room, and you got like the rain coming down from the sky, and then the chains. And the sound design during that scene is fantastic. Just the little details of the sound of the rain with the chains sort of clinging and clanging and stuff like that. And then, of course, he ends up getting killed by the alien. But just a great little scene with, again, really well-built suspense. And then the following scene where Dallas goes into the air vents with, like, the flamethrower torch thing. Another great scene with really good suspense and also some claustrophobic vibes, which are really well done. Kind of got a nice little jump scare there at the end where, you know, he can't see the creature and quickly turns around and boom, there it is. Just another great scene. At this point in the movie, the tea kettle of suspense has now boiled over. There's another scene that I really love, and really it's one particular shot in the scene, and it's when Ripley goes into Mother's control room, and she's typing on the computer to try to get any sort of insight into how to handle the alien creature. And then there's the one shot where she moves her face back, and you see Ash is standing right there next to her. Man, I love just that little shot of that reveal where he's standing there, and it almost kind of jolts you a little bit because you obviously don't expect him there. And then you have the whole sequence where we find out that Ash is really a robot, and basically the whole crew are expendable, and it's just, you know, he has to get the alien back. Just a great little reveal. Another top-notch sequence there with some really great practical effects where Kodo ends up beating him over the head, and you know, you see all the wiring and all that stuff. Really great stuff. And then you have the whole climactic sequence. And I love how Scott directs the whole final kind of 20 minutes of this movie, where, you know, so much of the film is patient and it's quiet and it's that gradual suspense build, but now we've got to the point in the movie where it is all out chaos. And the way everything comes together and works, everything just complements itself so well. I love the kind of shakier handheld tracking shots following Ripley running through the hallways. That combined with the lights, the strobe effect, the smoke, the sound design of the sirens and the alarms and everything. I mean, it's all out chaos. It's totally unhinged. It's stressful. It's anxiety inducing. It's just a fantastically directed sequence.
3 minutes.
And then, of course, we get the last few minutes where, again, you feel like you can kind of breathe this sigh of relief because the Nostromo has been exploded and Ripley has gotten away in the escape pod and all seems well. But, of course, the alien creature is inside the escape pod. And I love, too, how the creature is revealed, that it's hiding in the wall and it just kind of blends in. It's like camouflaged in the wall. And you don't really see it until Ripley is like right up there next to it, and then it's kind of a nice little jump scare with its hand just kind of sticks out and just, you know, of course freaks her out. And then I love in this scene too, like how smart Ripley is, that she is able to keep her wits about her. She's able to kind of take a second, collect her thoughts, make a decision, get a plan together of, you know, this last ditch effort of what she's going to try to do to kill this thing. And of course, it all works out pretty well in the end as she is able to kill the alien and send it off into outer space. But yeah, look, this is just a great movie. Like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites. I love it. I'll never get tired of rewatching it. It holds up exceptionally well for a movie that's 45 years old. It's just all around great. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. So those are my thoughts on Alien. I'm very much looking forward to reviewing the rest of these films. There's some really good ones here in the Alien franchise. I think also, too, I'm going to try to review the 2 Alien vs. Predator, kind of the crossover movies. Those are the only 2 in this franchise that I've never seen before. Those will be first-time watches for me. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got for you. Hit me up down below. Let me know your thoughts on Alien. Would love to hear from you. Do you love it as much as I do? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you got anything out of this video, go ahead and do me a favor and do not click that subscribe button unless you want to be haunted by the beard.